Alex with Constantino and Company Plumbing. Today we're going to be installing a reverse osmosis system. This is the Waterdrop 600G reverse osmosis system. It's a tankless unit, which means it doesn't take up much real estate underneath your kitchen sink. It's compact. We've been putting in a lot of them. We get a lot of good feedback on them. They're becoming very popular just because of their compact design and their really good filtration. The way this works is it filters out 99% of contaminants out of your water, and it takes those contaminants and flushes them down your drain. So there's a little bit of plumbing involved. You need to hook up the water and the drain, and we'll take you through the process and show you how to get it done. Once you get everything unboxed, this is exactly what it comes with. This is your new tap. It has a little computer screen on it. It'll give readouts of the different filters. Comes with a little sticker you can put on the granite for when you're drilling your hole. Lines you up, make sure you're right in the middle. The computer, the filters go in there. This is the brains of the whole operation. It's the brains of the whole operation. Power pack. Your water supply adapter, drain adapter with a saddle to go into the drain, your filters, carbon block filter, pre-sediment filter, and your reverse osmosis filter. Even comes with a little bit of Teflon, which we don't use because we're real plumbers, so throw that off to the side. The next step is determining where you want your tap to land. I already marked mine out. I want it right there. For this application, you can put it on either side, put it pretty much wherever you want. Just make sure that underneath you have the ability to slide this nut on and you don't run into anything before you drill the granite. Next, we will show you how we drill the granite. When I go to drill the granite, I typically just buy a brand new bit. You only get one shot at it. Granite's expensive. The bits are kind of expensive, but they're a lot less than replacing a slab of granite because you're trying to use an old drill bit. So this is the Milwaukee Diamond Max. These are typically pretty good. They got little diamonds on the top, which drill right through it. So I've already gone underneath and confirmed that there's nothing below here that's gonna conflict with my hole. I've marked it on the granite. Now you can take this little sticker, put it right in the center. And that's where we're gonna drill. I take a sponge, I wet the sponge. Just start with a little water on there. Keeps the tip cool, stops it from burning out as fast. And here we go. I like to start at an angle and just work it right in. Once I get it started, I'm going to add a little bit more water. The more water, the cooler the tip's going to remain, and it's just going to prolong the life of your bit, help you get right through. As you can see, it went really fast through the first, quarter inch. Then it slows down. That's why I always get a new bit. And we're through. So it wasn't too bad. This bit actually might have a little life left that we can use it again. I don't know what type of stone you're drilling, whether it's granite, marble, quartz. It'll go either a little faster or a little slower. Just take your time, go slow with it. No rush. All right, so now we're underneath. Try to get you some shots here. I was able to slide that nut up. You just spin the nut up, all the way up. and tighten it in. You can get a basin wrench and get one spin on that. It's all plastic, so you don't want to kill it. Just give it one spin and it should be tight enough. Next, what you're going to want to do is get your water connection ready. It comes with this T-fitting. I'll show you how to get that on. You want to find your cold water supply, which is this. This one's very easy. It's labeled blue, so you know that's cold. You're gonna want to shut your shutoff off. This is a quarter turn, it's just one turn to the right. And essentially this T is gonna go right on top of that. And then you attach your existing faucet back to the top of this T. So once you're reconnected, that's what it'll essentially look like. Because I'm gonna put my filter on the left side, the black knob, which is your shutoff for the filter, is in the back, which is fine as long as you can get to it. If I was going to the right side, it would be facing in the front. Stick it right on here. This is what's gonna make the water tight. So this, you drill a 1/4-inch hole in your tailpiece, and this will wrap around it, crank tight, and the tube will go into your tailpiece. I can show you better underneath, but this will be the discharge for all the impurities that are flushed through in the reverse osmosis process. If you have a disposal, this is going to be your 1.25 inch tubular piece. That's what it's designed to go onto. You can't go onto the drain here. This is 1.5 inch PVC. The collar is not set up for that. So if you didn't have a garbage disposal, you would have a tailpiece that came down from the strainer, which should be this size, and you'd go directly onto that. But here with the garbage disposal, we're going to drill into this and tap into this. So what I like to do is I like to take this collar. This is going to go on here like this. You can just push this through and rely on it to be a watertight seal. What I like to do is take this, push it through, and I extend it just slightly past. You can see that. So what this is going to do is it's going to put this hose into that hole. So I'm not relying on this seal. I'm essentially in. You don't want to push too much past because then it's going to pick up and catch, food when it's going down. But so just slightly past so that it's into that hole and not just resting on the face of it. Now, each of these tubes, they come with a mark to show you how far to insert it into these push fittings. What I like to do is that you can measure that mark, and you don't need to use all this hose. So my unit is going to sit right here. I don't want all this extra hose in there. So I see where I'm going to need it, and then I'll measure this mark and transpose that onto there. So to make sure that I know that I'm fully seated, but I don't have all this extra hose laying around. Our filter is going to sit right here. Most reverse osmosis systems, they come with 3 filters that would mount on this side, and then a huge tank which would go here. So it would leave essentially no room for anything else. That's why I really like this Waterdrop system. It really allows, they still have all this stuff they need to put under there, which might not fit, but it'll leave a lot more real estate than if we went with a standard reverse osmosis system. So the rest is pretty much plug and play. These are just little stoppers so nothing got in those during shipping. You take those out. You got your input, which is your water from the valve that we put in down there. You have your filtered water, which goes up to the faucet. You have your waste, which goes to the red line that we just drilled into the drain. You have your power adapter, and you have your faucet power. So you can measure how much you need, get those, but this is what I was talking about. Those lines on the pipes determine, make sure you're fully seated into these holes. So you really do want to mark those, remark them, because you might not be in all the way when you originally push in. Sometimes you got to really give it some force to get it to the marker. So we'll go ahead and get this unit in below. And all you do is you take the tubing and push it in there until you go all the way down, until you are all the way down to your mark. So you can see where my mark was right there. And then it comes with these little clips, which is that you pull up slightly and push under. It's a little hard to do with one hand, so give me a second. So you pull up on it a little bit, push it under, it clips right in like that. And what that does is that prevents this from getting pushed back in, because if this collar gets pushed in, then this pipe can come out. If this collar can't get pushed in, this pipe cannot be pulled out or yanked out by anything. So you do that for all of these, you'll be good to go. Once you get all these hooked up, I left everything long just so I can show you on this video. You're gonna push this unit in. You don't wanna put the power adapter on until you're ready. You wanna open up your water first and test your joint, which I just did there. Oh, off below. So you open up your water and you make sure all your joints are good, which they do look good. You'll put it in. The last thing, you want to get your filters all in before you attach the power. Once I push this in, I can take all these and zip tie them together and keep it all nice and neat under there. All right, so now that it's in, the next thing is to put your filters in. The filters are super easy. Each one only fits one way. Just push in, you'll feel it lock in there, and you turn to the right. It'll click when it's locked. You do not need to have the water off to do these. You won't lose any water if you go to replace these without shutting the water. Get that in like that. And there you go, they're all in. As you can see, once again, once we get all these tools out of here, really does not take up that much room underneath your kitchen sink. We're gonna just make it with the cabinet door. Cabinet door will still shut. It measures about, you can see that, it's about 6-inch slot on the left side of your cabinet or right side of your cabinet. So it's a really compact unit. It's pretty slick. Now we'll go through the startup process. When you plug it in, you will see these 3 lights light up. It goes through a 5 minutes flush. You can test your drain. You can make sure all that's working, nothing's leaking, which it all looks good. You'll have these lines right here blinking. Once the 5 minutes up, that face will change, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's ready to be flushed. Once it's done with its 5-minute automatic flush, all the lights will shut off. You're now ready to do your half-an-hour flush. So what you do is you pull down on the handle, get the air out of the system, and the water will start flowing. As you can see, the stream is really good. Fills up a water jug pretty quickly. So now you're going to do a half-an-hour flush. These lines, the 3 lines here, will keep blinking like this for about 30 minutes until it is ready. Once it is ready, you'll see the TDS, which is the total dissolved solids. Once it's done, you'll get your TDS display to read out here on the faucet. So we'll let that run for a half hour. We'll check out and see what it says. All right, it's been about a half an hour. You can see how those dashed lines now have turned into numbers. That's your TDS readout there. You also get one under here on the main computer. And that's it. That's the final install. As you can see, we're putting everything back underneath. You still have good real estate under there for all your cleaning supplies and whatever else you put underneath your kitchen sink. Filter's ready, and now you're ready to enjoy nice, clean drinking water. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Filters installed, faucets installed. It's ready to be used. Nice, clean drinking water right there at your kitchen sink. If you're ready to ditch the bottle, to be more environmental friendly, feel free to give us a call. We'll get one installed for you.